Hi, good morning. It's Deborah Grove for Robert Dewhurst's class. And as my resource, I would like to give you this one. It's page 323 of this book, and it's about the 6 practices of high-impact nonprofits. Let me read them to you because my PowerPoint didn't work with sound. 1 is to advocate and serve. 2 is to make markets work. 3 is to inspire evangelists. 4 is to nurture nonprofit networks. 5 is to master the art of adaptation, and 6 is to share leadership. I'll be discussing number 2 and number 4, that is making markets work and nurturing nonprofit networks. And in the context of what I'm interested, which is the botanical gardens, we want to build on the synergy of aligned missions. So if the synergy of aligned missions with nonprofits were to have more volunteers, more memberships, more awareness of plant fragility all over the world, and a sense of community throughout the public garden industry, then those are our impacts, and I'll look at number 2 and number 4 in that way. So the way to use this diagnostic tool, which is very simple, is you select stakeholders to respond to 6 different questions that have 2 statements in each of them. And your stakeholders could be funders, board, members, volunteers, if they're different from members, or customers, if they're different from members, and then the public at large interested in conservation. So the first one, here's a sample. You ask each respondent to the first question, my organization embraces a network mindset working collaboratively with other groups to advance the larger cause, and the people in your stakeholders answer either strongly agree, or disagree. Very simple. They can do this in a matter of minutes. The second question or statement where you're looking for agreement or disagreement is, my organization shares knowledge, cultivates field-wide leadership, and develops collective resources within our network or field. In my beloved organization, American Public Garden Association, I think 90% of the people would generally agree that it's a very collaborative organization. But you might have some people that have a bigger vision that say, well, we're not working with the Botanical Garden Conservation internationally as much as we could, and we could broaden our scope to include places outside of North America, and we should have more programs like that, and we should dedicate some of our resources, including having staffing on that. So there might be disagreement. I'm just using these as examples. Another diagnostic tool that is in there is to use question number 2. My organization builds effective win-win alliances with other nonprofits in the same landscape. Volunteers may have one answer on this, and then board members may have another perspective. Customers at large may have a third perspective, and so the art is in combining all the different perspectives to see what could be done next. The strengths and weaknesses for this, for strategic planning, are that it gives the board a snapshot or a pulse. It takes the pulse of the other stakeholders, and it can be used to drive initiatives for the following year. The weaknesses, in terms of its essence for strategic planning, is that sometimes when you only have 6 questions really with 12 different statements, people don't think deeply. They respond to questions with the first thing that comes to mind, and they zip right through it, and they don't really give it a whole lot of thought. And of course what you want is you want that thought, that profound thought of not only what are we today, but what could we be? And if we can envision something bigger, then can we work towards that? So also, another weakness in this diagnostic tool is that respondents may wish to be supportive of the status quo, and they choose not to disagree. In other words, they just agree so that management will feel good. That's not going to get you anywhere either. So of course you want to emphasize that this is all anonymous and that nobody can read anybody's handwriting. You do it on SurveyMonkey, and you make sure that people can feel free to give their true opinion. In terms of program design, there is a weakness, and I think that this diagnostic works where there's a history of goals met and outcomes and activities. It's a snapshot of an existing organization, and so it doesn't work for opinions or perspectives on planned programs. It has limited use for program design. It's much better at evaluating existing programs with a history. And in terms of needs assessment, I think it has some weaknesses as well, because it gives a perspective that may be accurate from second parties, but it may not be weighted in favor of the customers, in our case, maybe the public at large. And it may be too brief. If it's not accompanied by interviews, which of course takes away the anonymity, it may not be a thoughtful exercise. With interviews, you can add on and say, well, what do you really think? What do you think could be done better? And how do you think that this could be put inside of our plan? And do you think that we have the capacity actually to get that done? So these are a weakness of the diagnostic tool. Nonetheless, I think it has great value. The strength of the needs assessment tool is that it's easy and inexpensive to administer on the web. So in summary, this is a simplified tool for small and large organizations. It offers a terrific opportunity to capture the mood of an organization at a given time. And over time, if you did the same study 5 years in a row, you would be able to see the change. And because it's so simple, you could do it over a 1 week period in July every year. And you'd be able to see, are you going in the direction that the board is really trying to construct? Or are you meandering away? Or are you staying in the same place? And then address what that means. So the simplicity of it is that it's inexpensive and you can get it done quickly. Thank you.